Hey guys, welcome to this week's Wrestling Escape Pod and welcome to a very concerned Wrestling Days. I have no idea what we're talking about, what this episode's... I don't even know right now what the thumbnail is going to look like. I don't know what the title is going to be. In fact, I do. It dawned on me. This is going to be called Tommy Takeover. It's going to be called Tommy Takeover.
Hell yeah.
We are doing a Tommy Takeover, a Tommy Toy Travels, a Triple T Takeover. And of course, you cannot have a Tommy Takeover unless you have a Tommy. And we've got our very own Tommy Toy Travels, the Boston boy. How are you, Tommy? You all right? You having a good week? Yeah.
Dude, you ready?
I was born ready.
All right, so this week I woke up, felt like garbage. Had a fever, not a flu, a fever. So I was like, it's COVID time. It hit me. So I went down to my local testing. They took one of their things and they're like, woo! And guess what happened?
What happened?
I don't have COVID.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's good.
It was just my body being a jerk to me.
Okay. Well, but you had to have the proper, because they really go up there, don't they? Oh.
Yeah.
Is it uncomfortable?
It was fine.
Okay.
But like the building up to it.
Yeah.
The whole in my mind, like, oh my gosh, this is gonna feel so awful. And then they did it and I was like, oh, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably worth stressing that it is fine for people that have got to go and have the tests done themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had a COVID test yet, but then I've not had any symptoms of it, fortunately. I mean, I don't have any friends, so there's nowhere that I can get it from. So
there are viruses on the internet. You could accidentally download COVID-19.
And you know what? My computer keeps saying that my McAfee security cover is expired.
Could be the COVID.
Oh, didn't even think about that. Think about that. But yeah, I mean, it does look uncomfortable. So it's quite interesting to speak to someone that has been tested.
Yeah, it was super chill. But unfortunately now I am back on quarantine in case it was a false positive. So I cannot leave this room. I'm trapped here for the next 2 weeks.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
So you're stuck indoors. So had you ventured out much then?
A lot, yeah. I was out and about.
Oh,
I was seeing Svetlana. I was seeing Craig. I was seeing everyone. I was seeing Chalmers. I was seeing Sonny Wolf.
Oh, yeah.
I was seeing the whole crew. Yeah, we went out to IHOP, of course, socially distanced IHOP with our masks on. Sonny Wolf wouldn't attend, though, because it wasn't Tim Hortons.
Yeah.
That's the only place she'll attend.
And that place you went to, is that owned by Apple?
Yes, yeah. Apple owns IHOP. Okay. It's their food type of division where they only sell apples.
Okay, right, amazing. Yeah. And the one name that obviously stuck out there that you didn't mention was Austin 316. So when
I haven't heard from him.
Okay.
I can shut off the lights and see if he's home if you want.
He's not only is he home, we all know that he's just behind that blind.
He's watching. Yeah. That's probably why he couldn't attend. He was too busy watching.
Yes. And can we get a mic update? Because obviously there was a lot of drama last week with your microphone. It sounds a little different right now. Are you using the microphone on your computer?
Same one. Sometimes there are issues, sometimes there aren't. So we're just gonna have to hold our hands up and hope that things are okay. Because
so any moment you could sound like Darth Vader.
Yeah, any moment.
That's exciting. That is exciting. Yeah. That's an exciting development. Wow, so you've had quite the week then? You've had quite... When did that happen?
Tuesday. So good thing we didn't record on Tuesday.
Wow.
Because I was busy getting
probed.
AirPods stuck up my nose, basically.
Okay, we should talk as well about this episode. This is the Tommy Takeover.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to kind of throw over to yourself as to whatever it was that you wanted to discuss, because this doesn't really have a subject. Although what I did do was I did try to find some interesting facts that I could throw in that I thought people might enjoy. And there's one that I found that I thought was very interesting, so I might as well just throw it out first, if that's all right. Okay.
Drop it, it's hot.
This was on What Culture. This was on a What Culture article about interesting wrestling facts that wrestling fans might not know. And I certainly didn't know this, and I have no idea where they've got this information from. But they claim to know what is in the catering at WWE. They claim to know what the order is that WWE places for every Raw. And I was like, wow, this is quite interesting. And I would never have known this if I hadn't have looked into these wacky facts. But let me hit you with what's in WWE, or what's claimed to be in WWE catering. Apparently, for every Raw, they have 500 cookies, 6 to 8 cases of vegetables, 15 gallons of soup, 65 cases of water, 180 pounds of chicken, 150 pounds of either beef or pork. They've got 5 gallons of rice. They've got 10 cakes, 40 cases of soda, 3 cases of energy drinks, 100 pounds of potatoes, and this is the killer, 6 pies. 6 pies, just random 6 pies. I don't know what pies. I don't know if they're apple pies. I don't know if they're meat-based pies. They're what pies?
Chicken pot pie?
Chicken pork pie.
Shepherd's pie?
Cottage pie. Are we going to go through all the pies?
No,
Okay.
This isn't a pie.
Poo-tang pie! Yeah, and 6 poo-tang pies backstage. Yeah, baby! So, I thought that was really interesting. If that's true, and obviously we have to put that big caveat, but what culture are claiming that it's true? So, yeah, it seems a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruit, a lot of soup. Obviously, a lot of water, rice, energy drinks. Them 6 pies did make me smile, did make me giggle. But there we go. Just a little insight into what you can expect at the catering department. Something that EC3 knows very well.
Oh. I don't know if that's true, because I know Daniel Bryan is a vegan, and I know he eats at catering. So didn't hear many vegan options.
Excuse me. 6 to 8 cases of vegetables.
Where's his protein? Where are the beans?
The pies. They could be bean pies. I don't know. Let's not forget the 65 cases of water. Thank you. What if the soup is bean soup?
That's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah.
He has to just eat bean soup every day.
Let's
rice.
not poo-poo on this information. Thank you. This is red hot.
It is red hot. It is confirmed. You cited your sources, so that means it's true. If you cite sources, everyone knows that from taking school.
How do you, talking of sources, how do you stand on Dave Meltzer? I don't know why, but more and more I am seeing just Dave Meltzer being the topic of conversations. People are really split on whether he is a positive or negative in the wrestling world. Where do you stand on that?
I am a subscriber to his newsletter and the podcasts. I love listening to the podcasts. I think he's a brilliant mind. I don't always agree with him and things he says. Sometimes I can see a tweet or two from him, and I think, Dave, you gotta gotta take a few steps back and not go so harsh, because I don't think his Twitter game is that strong. He's
I've never
very
seen,
confrontational.
yeah, I've never seen someone reply to so many negative comments.
Yeah.
Like, considering that he's a wrestling historian and
Mhm.
primarily he's there to talk about wrestling, I've never seen someone on Twitter just exclusively talk and fire back at like trolls, and that's all he seems to do.
Yes.
If you go through his feed, it's just someone firing something at him and him trying to fire back. But there's not like
Yeah.
loads of wrestling information, if you will.
No, he's not the best person to follow on Twitter.
Mm.
That's why I don't follow him anymore.
I
I
like
don't follow anyone anymore.
I like him as well.
Yeah.
I think that he's got a good, well, an incredible knowledge when it comes to the history of wrestling, and everyone's opinion is going to be slightly different. And I know people will say that he's got a bias towards AEW and all of this, but there was something quite interesting. There was a report that someone did that looked back at the recent AEW shows and I think the recent WWE shows. I can't remember what WWE shows they were specifically. I'm having to pull this from my memory because I didn't know we were going to talk about this. But the average for WWE was higher than the average for AEW. The thing with AEW is it gets like a lot more 4-star matches, but it also gets a lot of like low grades as well that kind of even
Mhm.
out a little bit more. WWE don't tend to get as many 4-star matches, but they don't get like as many batterings either. So it was really, this report was really, really interesting. If I can find it, I will try and retweet it onto the Wrestling Escape Pod Twitter, because then people will be able to look at it for themselves. Because again, I think
That
it's very important to cite your sources.
that's a good segue to the Wrestling Escape Pod Twitter. Because if anyone was on Twitter, they'd see that I took my personal clout, my personal Twitter, to reach out to 2K Games to get you and I days free copies of WWE Battlegrounds, and it hurt knowing that I'm not as famous as I thought I was. They left me on red. I sent them an email. They didn't respond.
Yeah.
I, I'm. Do you see this? Do you see this tear? I'm crying right now, man.
That might have been from the COVID test, though. In all fairness, that's
True,
here.
true.
That might have been there since.
Know.
That's been there since Tuesday. The
So,
I got yeah.
you go.
All I was going to say is after the success of Svetlana and the fact that we couldn't even get her, I wasn't holding my breath. Let's put it that way.
I got excited. I thought that would have been a great topic, us talking about the game, but unfortunately, it's us talking about 2K, ignoring my tweet, which is one of the options I gave people to talk about, and it was a survey. And everything was very close except for Dirt Review. Dirt Review was dead last. So I don't know if you want to do that on this episode. I don't know if you want to save that for the rumored in the Dirt Sheets live Wrestling Escape Pod show. I don't know much about that. I just know that it's on the Dirt Sheets. That could be a very enticing thing for a first episode, just saying. But people did say, she'll talk about WWE news and let's talk about Retribution. So we can do those two things because the Dirt Sheets have recently revealed who is in Retribution.
Okay, but do you want to go? I mean, what's quite interesting about, man, there's a lot of what you've just said that needs to get unpacked. There, I feel like you've just dropped like a care package of information that we need to now try and sort through. I think let's go with Retribution then. So what's really interesting about Retribution is that the names that are being revealed are the people that are currently playing the characters, but we don't actually know who the characters are going to be long term.
Oh,
It's
you're
quite
bringing up a good plot twist because I just assumed they'd take off the masks and be who they are.
well. I don't even know why they're wearing masks. I mean, honestly, they might as well just hold banners saying, I am Mia Yim. I am Dominic Dijakovic. Like, because it's so obvious as to who they are. Because, certainly with, like, Mia, like, her, you can see a lot of her face. Like, her mask kind of comes down.
It's like if you brought your hoodie down just a little bit, and if I wore glasses on an episode of the pod, and we're like, oh, you don't know who we are.
Yeah.
I'm not Triple T. I'm Retribution.
And also, they tried to affect the voices, and you can very easily change them back. I mean, like, people have changed the pitch and everything, and it is just Mercedes Martinez, and it is Dominic Dijakovic. So I don't understand. I mean, this for me is where Retribution is really struggling, because they've invaded far too many times. I mean, I think they've managed to break into Raw and SmackDown like 7 times now. And you'd look at it and you go, there'd come a point where someone would surely change the locks. Do you know what I mean? There'd come a point where this just wouldn't be possible anymore for someone to keep invading like that. But not only that, there would come a point where someone would be watching the show and they would go, that's Mia Yim. That's not, like, we know who these people are. Like, we all know who these people are. So why are arrests not being made? Do you know what I mean? Why? And like,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw, but at the end of Raw this week, at the time of recording this, Retribution once again invaded, and they were brawling with the Hurt Business. Keith Lee and Drew McIntyre both jump over the top, land on top of Retribution. They jump out the ring on top of Retribution. The show ends, no word of a lie, the show ends with every member of Retribution flat out on the floor. Every member laid out on the floor. Nothing stopping them getting arrested. Nothing stopping them being exposed as to who they really are, like, you know, the masks being pulled off.
Yeah, I've seen enough episodes of Superman shows to know that when the masked person gets knocked out, you take said mask off, unless you're like the Joker or something and you want to be like, I don't know, I don't want to know who you are. That's what's interesting about you, but it's it's real life.
Oh, they just
You're not gonna someone with a mask, you take it off.
This...
Well, it isn't real life, it's wrestling.
It's still real to me, damn it! That's the kind of commitment. That is the kind of commitment we expect. It's real life. It's real to me. So yeah, for me, they just keep misfiring with Retribution, and yeah, I mean, the dirt sheet's definitely getting excited that you can see who it is, but I'm hoping there's a twist here. I'm hoping it's not going to turn out to be them people, because otherwise you'd look at it and go, well, why haven't they been arrested? Why are WWE still continuing to employ Mia Yim and Dominic Dijakovic and Mercedes Martinez and so on? So
is your theory that it's an inside job?
Well, there's a few theories that are doing the rounds at the moment. The rumor was a few weeks ago Vince didn't know who these people were going to be. WWE keeps starting storylines without having a finish, without having an end. Same with the Hacker. Yeah. Great minds. The Hacker, yeah. And they've just moved Mandy Rose to Raw.
I don't want to talk about that.
Okay.
I don't, right, with Svetlana in Ukraine and me in America, long distance relationships are really tough. So WWE doing that, it's really insensitive to Otis, because especially in quarantine, because now they're separated forever.
Yeah, and the downside is apparently they haven't got a clue what they're doing with Mandy anyway. Like, apparently they've just moved her, and there's no reason to move her. They just wanted to put a little more into the Raw women's division, but it's not as if she's going because she's about to get this crazy push. So it's crazy at the moment. Like, they seem to be desperate to get ratings, and you can kind of understand, because I think even Raw was like 1.6 million just gone, and that's with Thunderdome and Amway, and I mean Thunderdome effect has already wore off, so now they're just desperately trying to bump ratings where they can. So there's a few theories about Retribution, one of them being that even they don't know who is going to be behind it. Of course, the other
Like Retribution doesn't know. It's like a big anonymous thing.
yeah, even the people in Retribution don't know that they're in Retribution.
And it would be the hacker behind everything.
There's that's another theory, that the hacker is going to be connected to this, but I'm not.
Better be.
You want some payoff.
Tied up loose ends. Yes, yes. I can appreciate long-term booking that gets forgotten and then brought back.
I think, I don't mind if they did that. I don't know that they will. Is the truth. I think there's a really good chance it is going to turn out to be Mia Yim, Dominik Dijakovic, whatever. But that is not set in stone, because they're still trying to hide them and disguise the voice, and try and make out that it's not them, and then they could swerve us by revealing who the leader is and who these other members are. So we're gonna have to wait and see. When it comes to Retribution, it is just a big mess at the moment. But it is.
I came up with flash facts about Retribution.
Okay.
Because I got 5 of them. Ooh. 5 flash facts. And 1, Retribution extras when they first happening were from World Extreme Wrestling. Afa Noah's, who was one half of the Wild Samoans promotion. And number 2, World Extreme Wrestling used to run a women's elite tournament. I don't know if they still do. Elite 8. And who participated in quite a few of them? Mercedes Martinez.
Okay.
3, Dijakovic used to play basketball and football, and on his school website it lists his actual height and weight. So we're gonna leak it. He's 6'5", not 6'9".
Oh, those little fibbers, those little tinkers, eh?
Yeah.
That's not like WWE to inflate numbers, is it?
I know, right? We're supposed to trust them. It's real life.
It's real life.
You can't play with my emotions like this. So it's unfair. Okay, so 4. He comes from the New England Pro Wrestling Academy. One of his trainers was Todd Hansen, a.k.a. Warbeard Hansen, a.k.a. Ivar. And 4, Mia Yim's WWE in-ring debut was December 4th, 2014, losing to NXT champ Charlotte, and that taping was also Dana Brooks' Full Sail debut in a dark match. So is Dana Brooke part of Retribution too?
Well, I mean, what's quite interesting is if it does turn out to be Dominik Dijakovic, and it does turn out to be Mia Yim, and it does turn out to be Mercedes Martinez, and it does turn out to be Dio Madden, and it does turn out to be Shane Thorne, what do they want Retribution for?
I have no idea. Dio, I think he's popular from Up, Up, Down, Down, yeah?
I have no idea. I don't know.
All I know is that I saw him once at PAX East because of that. Dijak, yeah, he's friends with Keith Lee. Why would you get if you're good friends with someone and then you're both hired? Although Keith Lee was brought up, but wasn't Dijak attacking Raw first?
Well, no. I mean, he hadn't quite made it to Raw. He was done with NXT. I mean, it was quite obvious that there wasn't really any other plans for him in NXT, and everyone was waiting for him to debut on the main roster at Raw or SmackDown. And seemingly this is how they're choosing to do it, but I don't know if the story is going to be that they feel like they were just forgotten in NXT, but the problem with that is Mercedes Martinez has only been signed for quite a short time.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand it with Shane Thorne, He's been down there for a while. Mia Yim, as you said, has actually been in NXT for quite a while. Dijakovic, not that long. It kind of Dio Madden. I actually don't know when he signed, but maybe there's an argument they can say that they feel they've just been pushed to the side if it does turn out to be them. But I don't feel like it's going to be the strongest storyline in the world.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just this hot mess.
What do you think a stronger storyline would be with these?
Do you know
characters?
what? I would have ex-Evolve superstars. WWE has actually bought Evolve and put it onto the network. Now,
It's on the network now.
yes, but it's old shows. It's not still running. I don't know if they're gonna bring it back and have it running still. We haven't heard anything about that, but you can actually watch some Progress shows, Evolve shows, WXW shows on the WWE network now. They've got a lot of indie stuff that's been added. But because they bought Evolve, they've actually managed to acquire some Evolve talent. And I really like the idea of seeing some people that we've not seen in NXT. I really like the idea.
Josh Briggs.
Yeah.
Anthony Green.
Anthony Green would be awesome. Anthony Green would be awesome. And I think he's signed. Joe Gacy is someone else.
Kick ass too. Oh,
yeah.
Language.
Joe Gacy is someone that I think would be quite exciting. Anthony Green, as you said. What's A.V. Taylor, I think her name is. I'm not too sure. There's a couple of people anyway that they've managed to pick up from Evolve. I really like the idea that these guys now are furious that WWE has taken Evolve away from them. And now they're here for Retribution. They're here to destroy WWE for wrecking their promotion, you know. It's a good advert for Evolve and for the network. It's a brilliant introduction of some brand new, fresh talent that we've never seen. Because the problem with NXT is that you already have opinions of these people, you know. Like, I have an opinion of Mia Yim. I know her strengths and weaknesses. I know what to expect. I really miss the days where people arrive on the main roster and
you have no idea who they are.
Yeah. And I would love... I know
when Braun Strowman showed up and everyone was just like...
That was cool. Ooh. That was cool.
Yeah, because you have no idea.
And we've kind of got it with Jordan O'McBean, the big 7-foot doorman of Raw Underground at the moment. The giant... We don't know much about him. So we've kind of got it with him, but we could have a whole group of them, like from Evolve, and then all of a sudden it just really freshens up the show because you could do Joe Gacy taking on Seth Rollins. Well, what does that match look like? Because I don't know. So, and then you could have that Avery Taylor taking on Asuka. What does that match look like? I don't know. But you've got like all these great, intriguing matches.
Dude, fantasy booking right now. I'm loving this.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of like who Anthony or Josh Briggs would go against. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Have you seen?
It'd be awesome though.
Have you seen them live? Because I know you go to a lot of indie, don't you?
All the time, yeah. They're from my neck of the woods.
Oh right.
Anthony Green like grew up a couple towns over. I didn't know him, but we are of like minds. 508. That's our call number. I'd assume.
Okay. There was an article I saw of Anthony Green, and it said that he might be one of the last people in wrestling to actually speak Carney. So, obviously, wrestling came from the carnivals. The reason that it's called a ring is because it used to be held in, like, circus tents. So you would go to the circus and you would watch circus acts, but one of the acts that you would have seen would have been the strongman and the wrestlers. And obviously it would go around the country, the circus, and so you would have like it was like a variety show, and one of the things was wrestling, and so it was done within the ring. So once it started getting put into like a boxing ring, then, it kept its ring. I think boxing was done in a ring as well, and that's kind of where the ring aspect comes from. So, but carnivals and circuses, that was very much the beginning of like pro wrestling back in the late 1800s and whatever. And so speaking carny, a lot of the terms like jobber, heel, babyface, things like that, it all kind of comes from carny, because they were all, the reason that those terms exist is because they needed to send messages without people understanding what was going on, because obviously the business was kind of protecting itself. So if you needed to tell another promoter, we've got a new champion, such and such has, this heel has gone over this baby face, the match was a Broadway, and using all this terminology, it was a way of communicating whereby the operator couldn't figure it out, didn't know what they were sending. And he's one of the last people that can actually speak carny in wrestling, apparently. It was a really interesting article on Anthony Green. He's someone that's very much on my radar.
Because he collects toys?
Does he collect toys?
Yeah, he has a huge collection.
Oh,
he has like his own Instagram, his collector Instagram.
Okay.
And yeah, I know one time at a show, he was like, Tommy Toy Travels. And then he was like, hey, what toys do you have? And I'm like, I have a couple Jacks. And he was like, oh man, I got all the Hasbros. I got some prototypes. And I was like, I have some Hasbro Marvel Legends.
So he proper shouted you out?
Yeah, he shouted me out.
Oh, that's cool, man.
It was really cool.
That is cool.
And
when was he doing that? Was that like on has he got a YouTube channel then, or a Twitch or something?
He does a YouTube channel. And it's funny because like he was like, yeah, this is my friend Josh, and I was like, Josh Briggs, the wrestler.
Okay, you just
no, Josh Briggs is a wrestling show. I know who's in the crowd.
You are hang on, you are literally breaking apart like the whole. I think the stream has crashed now. Actually, I think we're at the point now where the Tommy takeover has actually stopped. I think Tommy has stopped taking over. Hopefully, hi everyone. Hopefully Tommy will be able to rejoin us soon. I hope that you're all keeping well. But yeah, that was kind of crazy how like Tommy's voice was breaking down into like a robotic thing. Boom! Yeah?
Am I back? Am I actually back?
You
Is
are
it broken?
You are actually back, I believe. You are actually back. But it's wobbly. It's oh no. Hey, look, I think you can see Craig. Craig, we keep saying is a little bot. That's him there. Look at him. What a little troublemaker. What a little troublemaker. So,
yeah. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that, everyone.
Okay.
I think Austin is trying to get onto my internet, and he accidentally shut it down.
Okay. I can't see you right now. In fact, none of us can see you right now. Let's see if I can bring... Okay, right.
No one can see me? All right.
Yeah, right now, boom, now we can. Okay. I mean, I don't think this podcast would have its charm if it didn't have the technical difficulties that we suffer on a very, very...
Yo, hold up.
Very...
You ready for this to get dodgy?
Go on. Okay, I have no idea what you're doing now. I feel like I'm watching a man have a breakdown. Is anyone else getting that vibe? For those that are like listening along, we've obviously experienced a few technical difficulties, and we are continuing to experience those technical difficulties. Tommy says, "Are you ready for things to get dodgy?" And then left, but is now back. Okay, what? Give us an update. How are you, Tommy? Boston receiving. Boston.
Is this okay?
It's yes, it's okay. That's actually better.
I'm.
Okay.
It's tough, man.
Yeah.
I'm.
I feel like I'm watching. I feel like I'm watching the Blair Witch.
Is it working?
I'm really. Okay.
Thank
I feel like I'm watching the
Sorry
Blair
about
Witch.
that.
This is straight out like of a horror film. In a minute, something's gonna happen.
Let me move to another room.
Okay. Just stay safe.
Room tour.
Just stay safe. I just want you to be okay. I'm actually crying. I am actually crying. What a journey. We said this would be as soon as you knew this was Tommy Takeover, you knew that this was going to fall apart, that this was going to wobble all over the place. So, apparently now we're getting a tour of Tommy's house. This is going to be very exciting.
Find any light switches?
You can't find a light switch now. Oh my god. What do you mean you can't find? I can't even see you full stop. Are you singing? Is that you singing? Right, that's either you singing or me officially losing my mind. Am I the only one that heard singing? What is going on right now? I have been abandoned. I really hope you were singing then. I really hope. Okay, what? I don't even know. Did you know? Click. Oh, okay. I thought that was a fun wrestling fact that had just appeared, but it isn't. I think this is literally now Discord completely resetting. So, again, I should imagine this is an absolute riot if you are listening to this. If you are one of the Apple Podcast boys, guns out for the boys! Then big shout out to you because really do appreciate the support. Tommy was actually touching on something there about the fact that we are looking at going live. I'm not sure that we're going to be looking at that anymore following the technical difficulties that we've experienced here, but it is something that we are seriously looking at. So I would urge that you get in touch with Tommy and let him know if that is something that you would like to see us explore, because we could do a little live stream and then we could also continue to do like the Wrestling Escape Pod as a separate thing. And really excited about that. And I don't think we're going to be getting Tommy Toy Travels back. I think the Tommy Takeover has now officially ended. I think we are done. So I want to say a big thank you to everyone that joined. As I said, get in touch with Tommy and let him know if you would like for us to explore a live stream. Granted, this isn't the best advert for it, but we really appreciate the support all the same. So a massive thank you, a massive shout out to everyone that joined us and continues to support the podcast. We will try and get a proper episode back for you next week, and hopefully we can try and bring in a live stream as well, which I think would be on like a Tuesday. So definitely watch this space. There's some exciting stuff on the way. Awesome, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and hopefully we'll see you again next time. Bye for now.